Next, we're going to use Flexbox to create a sidebar layout. A sidebar is typically used for things like navigation, links, or extra information. It generally sits on the left or right side of a web page. Using Flexbox makes it easy to place the sidebar next to the main content and control how the space is divided between them. This helps us build layouts that are clean, flexible, and responsive. In this exercise, we're going to be working on a project that will leverage what we built in our last exercise on web cards. Up until this point, we've focused on the header and the main content, but adding a sidebar will make our design more complete and functional. The sidebar will sit alongside our main content. Using Flexbox, we'll be able to easily position it and control how much space it takes up compared to the rest of the page. For this project, we have three main requirements. First, the sidebar should be on the left and have a fixed width so it stays consistent. Second, the main content should take up the remaining space on the page. And third, the layout should stretch to the full height of the screen, creating a complete and structured page layout. Let's jump in and see how we can build this. I've already gone ahead and created most of the HTML and a little bit of the CSS that we'll be using for this example. I'm linking out to a new CSS file, and I'll show you what that looks like shortly. In the body, I have a header with an H1. Then I have the main area of the website. It contains a section with a class of layout. I've collapsed this section, but I'll expand it quickly. This section consists of 3 articles. This is the exact same code that we used in our last exercise. So if you haven't yet watched the web card video, I suggest you look for that so that you understand how we've created this portion of the page. After the section, but still inside of main, we have an aside, and the aside simply has an H2, H3, a paragraph, and a link. And then I've created a footer on the page as well. In the CSS, I've created a universal selector that zeroes out padding and margin. I'm setting the font family to Helvetica throughout the page. I've made a group selector for header and footer, and I've simply set the background color to our light gray and added some padding. I've styled the header H1 by adding padding on that and also using text align center. And for our aside, I've set the background color to a slightly darker shade of gray and added some padding. The remaining rules that I have on the page are the exact rules that we used on our web card video. The only change I've done here is assigned the containing element, or the Flexbox parent, a class of layout. And you can see that my section has a class of layout. This contains the 3 articles. In our last exercise, we put all of these rules on main. I've simply moved them to the section with a class of layout. Everything else is identical from what we did in the last exercise. We won't be focusing on these rules since we've already talked about those in a previous lecture. In the browser, this is what I currently have. You can see that I have my 3 web cards. Currently, they're sitting side by side. If I expand my page, they will grow to a specified amount, and if we make the page more narrow, they will wrap. Our new element, the aside, is going to appear underneath these as it comes after the section of layout, after the articles, within our HTML code. So what we want to do is we want to have this whale trips aside appear on the left side of the screen. That's what we'll be focusing on here. In order to accomplish this, I'm going to go ahead and we'll make a rule on main. So I'm going to make a new rule on main. Keep in mind that the direct descendants of main are this section with a class of layout and the aside. The footer exists outside of main, so it will not be affected by our display of flex. If I simply do this and give main a display of flex, when I refresh the screen, you can see that the aside now appears on the right-hand side and the articles are going to stack vertically. If we increase the width and the articles have enough room to sit side by side, they will do so. However, the aside section is getting way too wide, and we originally wanted that to be on the left anyways. So what we're going to do here is we need to modify our code slightly. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give main a maximum width. This will prevent main from getting too wide if I'm on a really large monitor. In addition to that, I'm going to add a margin of 0 and auto, which will simply center this as a unit. If we save this and we refresh our page, when the page gets really wide, you can see that the content is not going to extend to the very far right and left edges because we've given main a maximum width. The next thing that I need to do is I need to make sure that my aside is not getting too wide. We already have a rule for aside. We're going to give this a width, and we'll give it a width of 200 pixels. This is a fixed width. Keep in mind that we want to have this have a fixed width. So if we refresh our page now, you can see how this now stays to be a fixed width, and these other elements are going to do whatever they would normally do based on the available space. This is starting to come together and look more like what we want. The only exception to this is that we want this to be on the left-hand side rather than the right. Currently, it is on the right because it is appearing in the order in which we created it within our HTML. If we want to move this to the left-hand side, we don't need to modify the HTML. In order to move the aside to the left, we will use the order property. Now keep in mind that every element contains some sort of order value on our page. Currently, everything on our page has the default order of 0. So if we want to change something, we need to alter that default order setting. So on the aside, let's add a order, and we're going to change this to -1. If I do this and I save the page and we refresh, you can now see that the aside is moved to the left-hand side of the page. It will remain there despite the width of the page. So this is going to go ahead and take care of ensuring that this appears to the left of the layout section. And because of the CSS that we're currently using, the layout section is going to take up all of the remaining space. So now this is doing exactly what we want. I also want to point out that the background color on the aside will extend all the way down to the bottom of the page. The final thing that I'm going to do is the aside is shrinking, which of course is the default behavior. What we're going to do here is we're going to add a rule on our layout element, and we're simply going to tell this to have a flex value of 1. We talked about this in our last exercise. This will ensure that this takes up the available space, but it will allow the aside to respect the width of 200 pixels. So now, no matter what size my web browser is, the aside keeps its 200 pixel width, it never shrinks, and then this layout section is going to shrink, and of course the elements within layout will either stack vertically or appear side by side if there is enough space to do so. As you can see, when you use Flexbox, you have a lot of flexibility in how you want your page to appear. Flexbox is not just about properties, it's a way that we can solve layout problems with navigation, content sections, and even full page structure.